Imagine waking up to a mandatory update forced onto your Appleberry device. It weighs in at a massive 40 gigabytes, installs itself overnight, and immediately begins billing you $89 a month. Microsoft identifies this mystery update as their brand new flagship Office 365 application, Bing Bing. The rollout immediately fractured the user base. On one side, analytical legacy users are scouring the 400-page press release, desperately clicking to find a single concrete function. On the other, early adopters are praising its synergy. This chart shows the widening gap between software utility and corporate expectations. While the blue line of feature utility has flattened over the last decade, the red line representing revenue targets maintains a vertical climb into empty space. Bing Bing bridges the gap between those two lines by abandoning the need for tools entirely. It exists to sustain growth in a market that has run out of problems to solve. CEO Carmella Bing introduced the software to the world during a product keynote, an event held entirely inside a decommissioned submarine. During the presentation, she bypassed specific questions about utility by rebranding the software as an omni-state productivity environment. The actual user experience reflects this vague branding. When you click the glowing icon, there are no buttons. There is no user interface. You are met only with a progress bar that reads, "Aligning Paradigms." While that progress bar sits there, the application forces your device's battery to run incredibly hot. It creates a physical, tactile illusion for the user that intense computational thinking is happening on their behalf. The software takes up so much storage that users suspect it actively deletes functional applications, like Microsoft Word, just to make room for these paradigm alignments. In this environment, the actual execution of labor is less important than the software's ability to simulate the physical sensation of heavy computing. Selling an entirely empty product requires aggressive social proof. You have to build a reality distortion field out of corporate buzzwords to convince people it works. The industry quickly flooded the zone with extreme testimonials. A VP at a Fortune 500 company reported that after installing the app, their quarterly projections were spiritually fulfilled. Another claimed that instead of managing spreadsheets, they became the spreadsheet. This manufactured hype eventually breached the tech bubble, securing a massive, entirely unprompted political endorsement. President Donald Trump posted about it online, stating, "Nobody has ever seen anything like this before. It's beautiful software, very strong. Some people say that it even reminds them of me. Bing Bing."
Armed with these endorsements, the corporate cult around the app weaponizes its own language to protect the product. Anyone who demands logical proof of the software's function is dismissed as guilty of legacy thinking. When every powerful voice in the room agrees the sphere is valuable, the logic of the code becomes irrelevant to the logic of the market. The definitive confrontation occurred when a reporter cornered CEO Carmella Bing, demanding to know what actually happens when you press the Bing Bing icon. Her reaction was bizarre. She stared at him without blinking for 45 seconds, let out an ecstatic moan, and whispered, "Everything." Because Bing Bing is entirely empty, it acts as a perfect mirror, reflecting whatever productivity fantasy the consumer projects onto it. The market inevitability here is grim. Even the most analytical, skeptical users eventually capitulate. Managers buy the $89 enterprise tier for their entire staff, terrified of falling behind their peers. This overarching system is the friction economy. It is a landscape where perception, hype, and peer pressure have entirely eradicated the need for actual deliverables. This era of blind compliance turns doing nothing into a collective marketable asset, a future where maximum productivity is achieved together in the cloud.